I got the code defender password for Patriot.
Excellent work. On our side, we've gone through your report. It was extraordinary. So many pieces of the puzzle clicked into place. Our final analysis indicates the Institute is far more formidable than we ever feared or imagined. If we stage a mass breakout, Patriot's 13 synths will undoubtedly be the last we ever save. Instead, we use this one chance to rescue all the synths.
Freedom, broadcasting
Every
all day,
last
all across the
one of them.
Commonwealth. All quiet.
Is that even possible?
Hopefully,
Stay safe
Patriot's
out there.
core escape plan will scale up. If it can't, well, we'll deal with it as it comes. The Institute will never let their slaves go without a fight. So the heart of our problem is manpower. Even if we call in all our agents, and we will, we won't be able to hold our own against the Institute for long. Talk with C-114. If the synths down there want freedom, they must fight and risk their lives to earn it.
Even with synth allies, is that enough to fight the Institute?
The synths greatly outnumber the scientists. If enough of them rebel, the chaos would be unprecedented. Then we use that turmoil to evacuate everyone we can. It will work, because it must. As much as we owe Patriot, we can't be certain how committed he is. If he learns we're willing to kill to free synths, he may not have the stomach for it. So get what you need from him and then cut him loose. Good luck. We're all with you.
I'm glad to see you return safely. I know the task was difficult, but I needed you to see firsthand how dangerous a rogue synth can be.
Why do you care what happens on the surface? You're in your own world down here.
Because there are forces on the surface that could pose a threat to us, and only a fool ignores a possible threat. We might diminish that danger by correcting the false perception that we intend some great harm to mankind. But enough about that. The task is done, and you've returned our synth safely to us. I couldn't have hoped for a better outcome. Well done. While you were away, I had quarters prepared for you. You'll find all the basic necessities, as well as a generous stock of arms and equipment. Go and have a look. I think you'll be quite pleased.
This is Radio Freedom.
Hello, Father. Tell me, what would you do when someone has stolen from you?
That's a loaded question. What's been stolen from you?
Institute property is not often taken from us. We cannot react lightly when it happens. The group that calls themselves the Railroad have acquired several synths from the Institute. Synths that had gone missing in recent months. And they no doubt mean to free these synths, in their delusion that synths are somehow sentient beings. You've been in contact with the Railroad, so you're aware of their misguided beliefs.
They mean well. They're only doing what they think is right.
You dealt with Libertalia. That's the result of their selfish, short-sighted plan. Usually they are a minor nuisance, but lately they have become more emboldened. I'm afraid we've reached the point where a response is necessary. We have learned the current location of these synths, and need to reacquire them before the Railroad can hide them.
Where are the synths located?
A small settlement at the old Bunker Hill Monument. But it's important that we act on this soon, before the Railroad has any indication we've tracked them. We also don't want the Brotherhood of Steel getting wind of the presence of the synths. That would only complicate matters.
Is it just me, or will I have backup?
A Corsair will be waiting for you outside Bunker Hill. You'll have support should you need it. But we want to keep this small.
I have made arrangements. I can get the 13 we discussed into position. But, tell me,
This is Radio Freedom.
do you think
broadcasting
Mr. Benet's
all
plan
day,
will
all
work?
across the Commonwealth.
You having second thoughts?
I'd risk anything for my people. It's just that Mr. Benet is many things. But he isn't always the most practical. And this plan is very risky.
plan is to use this opportunity to rescue everyone. But synths will have to fight for it.
And I thought Mr. Benet's plan was too ambitious. Of course, I'd fight for my freedom. And I know of a few others that might as well. But enough to face all the guards? Perhaps if we stand up openly to the scientists, more of my people would join us. Yes. Even if most don't join the fight, certainly there are many others who have been waiting their whole lives for this. But we should be prepared for some of the synths to fight against us.
4 o'clock. You're tuned to Minuteman
All people
Radio.
want to be free. They just need the opportunity to take it.
If the railroad inspires everyone like you do, the SRB is wise to fear you. You will give my people an opportunity, and they will flock to us. I admire Mr. Benet a great deal. We can't tell him about this plan. It's his people we'll be fighting. I will talk to my friends. Meet me here tomorrow. If I don't make our appointment, assume the worst.
You get me what we talked about, and I'm in business.
Liam, I got your username and password.
You railroad guys really deliver, you know? Hooking that ancient tech up to the modern terminals is going to be seriously time-consuming, even with that password. So hand it over and I'll get started.
This is a delicate operation. Are you okay if we have to use violence?
Good question. If we find ourselves in that position, we pull the plug and wait for another opportunity. We can't risk anyone's life over this.
Here you go.
Great. Listen, I need a favor. Z-114 is working the atrium again. Can you give him an update? It's safer if you do it.
Stay tuned for
The
Minuteman
importance
alerts.
of Bunker Hill and our asset there is not widely known. Please keep it that way.
Can I talk to you?
Something on your mind?
The Institute knows about Bunker Hill. They're planning to recapture the synths there.
The timing couldn't be worse. The old man's been sitting on those 4 synths. There's nowhere else that's safe we could put them. Maintaining your cover is vital, but the sacrifice is just too great.
How much damage would it cause if we let them hit us?
We're running out of places to hide our synths. That's why we put so many eggs in one crowded basket to begin with. So what would we lose? 4 synths, Stockton, some of our best agents, and the inevitable civilian casualties? No, not this time. We've never known when and where the Institute would strike us next. But now we have a chance to turn the tables. We wait until the enemy is in position, then we hit them hard. No one they send out comes back alive except you. Understand?
Won't the Institute be suspicious if I'm the only one left?
You're a lot tougher than anyone else in their outfit. If only one person could survive, it would be you. And any story you come up with won't be contradicted. We can't attack too early. We need to draw them into the kill zone, and then spring the trap. You'll know when. You'll probably have a Courser escort. You'll have to take them down. You've done it before, but it'll still be dangerous.
Is all this really worth it?
We can't afford to sacrifice Stockton and the synths. There's just too few of us left. And we can't relocate them without compromising your cover. It's a risk, but it's one we have to take. So get it done.
You know, in all my years, I've never set foot outside the Institute. Not once. Since the day they brought me here. I've never had a reason. But now, this just confirms the truth I've always known. The Commonwealth is dead. There's no future here. The only hope for humanity lies below.
It's not so bad, really. People manage.
Perhaps. But at a cost too great to be worth it. Standing here, I'm reminded of how fortunate I am that I was spared a life in this wasteland. I know that to you, I was kidnapped from that vault. In truth, the Institute rescued me. Both of us, really.
Why refreeze me?
As a failsafe, of course. I was the perfect candidate. An infant with uncorrupted DNA. But if something were to go wrong, if I died, well, the Institute realized a contingency plan was prudent. Another source of pre-war DNA, preferably related to their primary subject. It only made sense that my parents should fill that role. So you were kept alive and safe within the vault. I'll admit, when I had you released from Vault 111, I had no expectations that you'd survive out here in all this. To not only do so, but manage to find me. To infiltrate the Institute itself. Extraordinary.
So it was you. You let me out.
Yes. It was my decision. Certainly it was no longer necessary to keep you suspended. Well, I suppose I wanted to see what would happen. An experiment of sorts. I had no idea what kind of man you were, you see. Would the Commonwealth corrupt you, as it has everything else? Would you even survive? Perhaps most curious to me, would you, after all this time, attempt to find me? And now I know the answer.
Sean, you need to know. I still love you.
I can see that you do. Well, it's remarkable. Soon, I hope you'll understand. Everything I've done has been for the future. A future which I hope is not in jeopardy after recent events. Bunker Hill did not go well for us. Would you care to explain what happened?
We got our asses kicked. Does it matter how?
The chances of failing this mission were so astronomically low that yes, it does matter. Bunker Hill was to cement your place as a valuable asset to the Institute. It will now only raise suspicions. And to see the Brotherhood of Steel involved in this? They had no way of knowing what was going on. I will refrain from sharing the outcome with the Directorate for the moment. Things are already in motion that this would only derail. Speaking of which, it's time for you to become more involved in the future of the Institute. I'd like you to join me inside. The Directorate is meeting, and you should be there. I'll be waiting. I've seen enough. It's time to go back in.
And happiness go
Son,
hand in
Let's
hand.
get this Directorate meeting over with before we speak further. It's important. Let's get this Directorate meeting over with before we speak further. It's important. Good, we're all here. I think it's time we begin.
Sir, excuse me, but what exactly is he doing here?
I will address that issue. But there are other subjects that require our attention first. The level of unrest in the Commonwealth continues to rise, as we're all aware. Your report.
All Institute facilities remain completely secure with the exception of one notable breach. Otherwise, internally, things are as tight as they've ever been. Dr. Ayo has been keeping an eye on things topside.
Yes, Watchers show no additional threats beyond those previously identified. We're still monitoring the increased activity around Fort Independence, but there are no immediate signs we should be concerned. Boston International Airport remains occupied, with Brotherhood presence noted at several other points throughout the Commonwealth. Intelligence suggests that this railroad continues to operate and is becoming more ambitious. SRB agents are monitoring all known situations, sir.
Very good, thank you. It's clear that our safety needs to be the primary concern going forward. To that end, where are we on Phase 3?
Sir, are you sure this is the time to be discussing it? Given, well, considering all parties present?
Ah, yes, that's true. Have you heard anything about Phase 3?
I have no idea what that is.
I'll admit I'm relieved. It's intended to be something of a classified project, which I'm sure means everyone already knows about it. Power is, as I'm sure you've seen above ground, a very valuable commodity. I'm not talking about some abstract concept of control. I mean real, tangible power. The kind that keeps the lights on. With every advance the Institute makes, our need for raw power increases. Many compromises and sacrifices have been made over the years to allow progress to continue.
What kind of compromises?
We have at times had to rely on drawing power from above-ground installations. It risks personnel and equipment, but no longer. Phase 3 is simply the activation of a nuclear reactor that can provide enough power to the Institute now and forever. It will ensure not just our survival, but our prosperity.
Can you tell me more about this reactor?
Certainly. It was originally built for the Commonwealth Institute of Technology before the war, but was only for testing. Over the years, we've advanced the technology, made a great many improvements, and are finally nearly ready to activate it. The reactor is close to ready, but recent tests have determined we have a few tasks ahead of us. Thus, we come to Phase 3, and to how you will help.
Sir.
Yes, Dr. Ayo. Previously, we would rely on Kellogg for above-ground operations, yet, well, he is gone. While I'm not overly fond of putting my own father in harm's way, he has proven more than capable of handling himself.
Yes, but...
This is not a matter for debate. Now, there is one more subject that requires discussion.
I don't know that this is the time.
Dr. Holdren, it is time. Please, as I'm sure several of you are already aware, I have been under Dr. Volkert's care for some time. I'm sorry this is difficult for me. Our best efforts have failed. Every experimental treatment we could devise has been unsuccessful. I'm sorry to say I am dying.
Why?
Please,
Be serious!
everyone, please, I am sorry. This is not how I wanted to tell you, but we're running out of time.
You're dying?
I'm afraid so. A very aggressive form of cancer. Believe me when I say we've done everything we can. We can talk more later. Right now, the future of the Institute is at stake. The Institute cannot survive without leadership. The Directorate must continue to govern with the best interest of all in mind. To that end, I am naming my father as my successor.
Oh, boy.
You can't be serious!
Really? Seems a poor choice.
How can you possibly justify this? He isn't one of us. He isn't even a scientist.
Ignoring your borderline, insubordinate tone, I will simply say this. The Institute has enough scientists. What it needs is a leader. I believe my father has already proven himself more than capable in that regard. This will conclude this meeting. Thank you.
X688 sounded very impressed with your work at Libertalia. He doesn't give praise lightly.
I had no idea.
I know this is... well, it's a lot to take in at once.
I'm sorry, Father. I hope it wasn't too presumptuous of me to put you in charge without even asking first.
What would it mean to be in charge?
Most divisions of the Institute are fairly autonomous, perfectly capable of functioning without intervention. Where those divisions interact, however, problems can arise. You'd lead the Directorate in setting policy, resolving disputes, and the like. There's no question that some of the Directorate and the Institute at large will need reassurances about your appointment. That's why I'd like you to take charge of this latest operation. Dr. Fillmore can fill you in on the details. There are hard decisions ahead for all of us, but for you especially. I know that you'll do the right thing.
Busy day for you, isn't it? Well, it's about to get busier. You're going to lead this operation, I'm told.
I need some details here. I have no idea what I'm getting into.
Of course, that's why we're talking. Otherwise, you'd be up top already. Recent events have upset our timetable. Getting the reactor online has become our #1 priority. It needs to be running, well, yesterday. We're going to have to cut some corners. I'm not thrilled, but it means we'll need to rely on some pre-war tech. You're going to the mass fusion building to acquire a beryllium agitator for us.
What's a beryllium agitator?
The details would be lost on you. No offense. The point is, it'll allow us to boost the reactor's power and get it running sooner than planned. You just keep me safe. I'll worry about the agitator.
Is that really necessary? I'm sure I can handle this by myself.
Yes, it really is. Not only is this tech sensitive, it's old. Look, I'll take care of it. You just make sure I come back in one piece.
You're going? That complicates things.
Not really, no. I admit I'm not fond of going up top, but I promise to stay out of your way. This device we're after? It's very sensitive equipment, and it's pretty damn old. It's not that I don't trust you. It's just that I trust myself more. So, are you going to put up a stink, or can we get moving?
Sounds good. I'd appreciate the company.
Not as much as I'd appreciate coming back in one piece. I don't like going above ground unless there's no other option. But here we are, with our options dwindling quickly. Not to put more pressure on you, but we have to move quickly on this. Word is that the Brotherhood is nosing around the area. We don't want them getting the agitator before we do. Head on up to the relay, and I'll meet you there.
Perhaps once the fighting begins, many others will join us. But we will fight and die very quickly unless we have weapons. A lot of them. Given the right materials, we can make our own crude but serviceable weapons. Unfortunately, we're missing a few critical ingredients.
I have weapons I can give you.
Excellent. Deposit anything you can spare in Maintenance Closet 3B. But we need enough weapons to arm an entire rebellion. So the ingredients are still necessary.
Tell me how I can help.
We've come up with a plan to get what we need. The Institute's always expanding. Excavation just completed on one of the sublevels. The mining equipment has been packed into crates and they haven't been moved yet. That equipment has everything we need. Thanks to Mr. Benet, the construction crew is populated solely by my friends. But they're under constant supervision. How do you feel about killing some guards?
I'll do it, if it's necessary.
We could come up with no other way. After you eliminate the guards, we'll move the supplies and blow up the tunnels behind us. To the SRB, it will be a tragic construction accident that killed many synths. Rare, but not unheard of. And then, our dead friends can assemble the weapons we need. Good luck.
J522 around. He didn't show up for duty today.
Check robotics.
Nothing to report, sir.
Greetings, citizen. I believe you have business with the guards.
Operating at full capacity.
Remember Z1's plan, everyone. Grab everything.
I can't believe the human would do this for us.
The crates, especially.
Now that we have weapons, next time you will not fight alone.
We have little time. It is best you go, for your sake.
Sounds like those raiders at Meditalia were quite a handful.
Done your part, and we'll do ours. Weapon construction will begin immediately.
Have any problems?
There's been no alarm. My friends have all the time they need to get what they want, then cover their tracks.
Any news about Liam?
Liam's got his terminal working. When the time is right, we have someone who can operate it. I'll stall Liam as long as I can, but he's anxious to proceed with the old plan. You should avoid him if you can. If he had any idea what we're up to, I fear he'd report us.
This is a good start.
The greatest challenge remaining is keeping all of this secret from the SRB. So we're being very careful, which, unfortunately, takes time. For now, please continue working with Father. We can't afford for him to grow suspicious. When my people are ready, I will contact you.
Be reasonable. I know you can hear me. Now open this.
What's going on?
What's the use? Dr. Higgs and Dr. Loken have decided to protest your appointment as Father's successor. They've taken control of the bioscience security systems and cut off our food supply.
Have they made any demands?
Not yet, but I expect they'll demand that you renounce all ties to the Institute.
Is there a way I can communicate with them?
As a matter of fact, there is. I can unlock the maintenance tunnel that leads to the bioscience observation room. From there, you should be able to communicate with Higgs and Logan. If you can't reason with them, you can use this holotape to access the command functions on the observation room terminal. That should give you some options. Just please, try to talk to them first. Use violence only as a last resort. Here we are. Just give me a moment. There, it's unlocked.
You must be terminated.
Nice. Got it. Yes. There we go.
learned something. Made it past the guards, Impressive.
Doc.
If you've come to change our minds, then you're wasting your time.
Can we talk about this?
Father chose not to talk to the Directorate before anointing you his successor. So how about I follow his fine example?
Don't you think you're being a little selfish here?
Far from it. What we do to protect the Institute.
Last chance, Doctor. Sure you won't change your mind?
This is much bigger than just you and I. I'm protecting decades of research and progress. The answer is no. We will not back down. Father's heir apparent. He made it past... your impenetrable defenses. Compose yourself, man. We've always been fixes. We are still in control.
Hostile sensor reading detected. Engaging hostile life form.
It's over, Dr. Higgs.
What do you plan to do now? Kill us and take the key? Go on then. Prove how right we were.
Is that what you want? To be a martyr?
I want only what's best for the Institute. It's all I've ever wanted.
Enough. Have you lost your mind, Lawrence? I'll do it. I'll open the door.
Max, no.
It's over, Lawrence. And you're a fool if you can't see that. Now, unless you intend to shoot me, please stand aside while I put an end to this.
Future generations will remember this decision, Max. I'll make sure of it.
I suggest we confine ourselves to quarters until our fate's decided. We can at least face the consequences of...
Bravo! I admit I was fearing for the worst, but I can see that I underestimated you.
I'm just glad they listened to reason.
Indeed. There is one further matter to discuss. Obviously, some kind of disciplinary action must be taken here. The question of what form it takes is up to you.
Put them on probation. Limit their access to quarters and non-working areas.
That's more than fair. I'll see to it that everyone's notified. I'll take that holotape back. I also wanted to offer you something as a more personal expression of gratitude. I know that your work often takes you to the surface where supplies are scarce. I gathered these items together for you. I think you'll find them useful.
It's been a pleasure to meet you.
Scanning. Subject identified.
I thought all the surface people looked like monsters. But you seem pretty normal.
Nice work bringing that rogue synth back. Just as you gave life to Father, he gave life to many of us.
It must make you proud to see all that Father has done, all that he has built.
Sure is here. Guess we'll have to go through them.
Weapons ready.
No mercy. Tango Delta.
The rest of the building.
Calm down, Noel. You knew that this was coming. I don't understand why you're acting this way.
Don't tell me to calm down, Carl. When we started designing the beryllium agitator, you said it would be for the benefit of mankind. Instead, I find out that you have been planning on turning it over to the military all along. You lied to me.
Don't give me that high and mighty attitude. Have you picked up a newspaper lately? There's a war going on out there, Doctor. And if our side's going to win, it needs all the help it can get.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. Since when did science start taking sides? What did they promise you, Carl? Money? Political favors? A goddamn medal?
That's enough. Like it or not, when the testing cycle is completed, I'm crating up the agitator and sending it off to Washington. Now, you have two choices. Either you can get back to work, or you can get the hell out of my building.
Business model. Team up, don't work,
got it.
Not a bad piece of work for its time.
Well, it looks pretty. I'll have to take your word on the rest. Look, unless you want me to stick you on top of it.
Now cycling airlock. Please wait. Initiating decontamination sequence. Decontamination complete. You may proceed.
Brotherhood's famously stubborn.
I'll help the synths buy some time. Make sure you get back to the Institute with the agitator.
Hey there.
Greetings, sir.
Allie.
Well, isn't this fun? Well, all we need to do now is get out in one piece.
To be frank, I don't agree with Father's decision, but...
Dr. Fillmore.
I think that was enough excitement for, well, ever. Thank you, really. Couldn't have managed it without you. I'll make sure the agitator gets where it needs to go. I understand Father is anxious to get you involved in something else. You'd better not keep him waiting.
Sounds like those raiders are quite a handful.
I feel quite well. I see. How's your energy level? Feeling fatigued. Interesting. You're sticking to the regimen we agreed upon?
Yes, Doctor. I'm taking all my little pills.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Doctor. I think that will be all for now.
But I haven't quite finished.
I believe we're done now. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I understand mass fusion was a success, despite interference from the Brotherhood of Steel.
We handled them just fine.
That's what Dr. Fillmore reported. I'm quite pleased at the results. Would have been a terrible setback to lose that technology to those savages. The Brotherhood's intervention must be placed in a larger context, however, given their penchant for hoarding technology. Future conflict with them is guaranteed. We are, after all, keepers of the most advanced technology in the Commonwealth, if not beyond. It also cannot go unnoticed that there were concerns within the Institute about your allegiances. I, of course, never doubted your commitment to our cause. But by directly confronting the Brotherhood, I think you've put some others at ease. I'm proud of you, regardless. The Brotherhood is an issue for the future, and we must focus on the present. And look at me, rambling on like the old man I am. I'm wasting time. You're needed elsewhere at once.
Do you need more parts for the reactor? I could have gotten them while I was out.
No, this is a different matter. Hopefully one that does not put anyone at risk. This situation, I'm afraid, is something of your creation, however unintentional.
What do you mean by that? What's happened?
Well, while you were assisting Dr. Fillmore, a second team was sent out to invite someone from the Commonwealth to join the Institute. Apparently, there was some miscommunication, and this individual called for help, which arrived in the form of your Minutemen. My understanding is that no shots have been fired. I would like it to stay that way. I need you to go there and speak to your Minutemen gathered outside. Insist that they stand down at once. Dr. Thompson is on site, and he will be your primary contact. I know you can resolve this situation, but it is of paramount importance that this special individual be brought to the Institute immediately.
Why all this effort? What's so special about this person?
Mr. Wallace? Despite a lack of formal training, our surveillance has shown he has incredible intellect. With his help, we may be able to drastically speed up work on the reactor.
Hey, General.
What's going on here?
You're an unexpected surprise. We could use the backup. These Institute bastards aren't getting away. They'll have to go through us to get out of there. We don't know quite what we're up against, but it's good you're here to help. How did you hear about this?
Can you bring me up to speed on the situation?
Commonwealth citizen lives in that there observatory. Institute thugs showed up to haul him off, only he spotted them coming. He managed to fire off a flare gun, got our attention, and we got up here as quick as we could. Now they're trapped inside. So, how do you want to play this? We thought about trying to lure them out here, since it'd be easier to kill them. But then we realized we probably ought to storm the place, to make sure they can't disappear on us. That makes sense, right? So, you want to lead the charge?
What do you know about the person who lives here?
Not too much. Wallace is his name. Kind of an egghead type, but real squirrely. Keeps to himself. We've checked in on him every now and then, but he didn't seem to want the company. So, we moving in or what?
Have your men hold their ground. I'll go in and assess the situation.
I don't think that's a good idea. Sir, we have to act now, or else we risk not only letting them get away, but taking one of us with them. I wouldn't wish that fate on anyone. Are you gonna lead us in there, or what?
This whole thing is just a misunderstanding.
A misunderstanding? Can't wait to hear this. Explain to me how this is a misunderstanding.
You sure you're willing to risk being wrong about this?
Look, I just want people to be safe, you know? I don't want anyone else dying or getting kidnapped or whatever. We won't start shooting or nothing. But you better get in there. And make sure you're right.
Hey.
Hmm? That's me. What's up?
I think it's about
Been nice.
thank God you're here. I was starting to worry we might not make it out of this mess.
How exactly did this happen?
I'm not suited for field work. I've said that over and over, and they sent me anyway. There was no indication that Wallace had been in contact with anyone or was aware that we might be watching him. If I'd known, I don't know. Maybe I'd have tried to handle things differently. I know he's potentially important to Phase 3 and all, but I'm not sure it's worth putting ourselves in harm's way.
Why did the Institute send you specifically?
They thought I'd be able to relate to him with my scientific background. I know they've been keeping an eye on him for years. Not sure how they originally found him, but probably don't want to know. But once they realized how smart he was and what an asset he could be for Phase 3, they watched pretty closely. I think they even fed him scientific material from time to time to see how good he was, you know, testing him, to see if he was Institute material. Let's just get Wallace and get out of here.
What does this Wallace guy have to do with Phase 3?
Wallace is, well, brilliant by all accounts. Like nothing we'd seen in the Commonwealth prior. He truly has a gift when it comes to theoretical physics. He'd be an asset to the Institute, specifically in getting the reactor running. With his help, we could accelerate the timetable immensely. There's just, well, there's a slight problem with that. He doesn't want to go with us. I was thinking, maybe you could try and talk to him. Don't make him angry. Let him know we're not going to hurt him. In fact, his life would improve considerably.
Mr. Wallace, I'm here to talk to you.
You're another one of them, aren't you? Are you a robot?
Sir, are you okay? Have you been injured in any way?
I'm locked in a bathroom to avoid killer robots. Of course I'm not okay. I've heard all the stories. I know exactly what happens to people when the Institute shows up. Well, it's not happening to me.
Hey, just calm down, okay? I just want to talk to you.
Fine, fine. What do you want from me?
Mr. Wallace, would you be willing to help the Institute?
Help? The Institute? But aren't they... I'm the bad guys?
The Institute has an engineering problem that your scientific expertise could help solve. In exchange for helping us out, you'd be granted access to the most advanced research facility imaginable. Whatever research you wanted to perform, anything, it's possible there. I promise. You'd be safe and secure in a way that's completely impossible anywhere else.
You have a better option than what we're offering you?
No. No, I guess I don't. Okay, fine. I'll go.
I'm looking forward to working for you, future director. Okay. I think we've got this under control now. Thanks. Thanks for the assist.
You're gonna bring him in immediately, right?
Oh, yeah. Don't want him to start second-guessing the decision. I'll see you back in the Institute.
There you are. I cannot express how pleased I am. Our new guest is familiarizing himself with his surroundings. Yet he's already pointed out several inefficiencies in our methods. With his help, Phase 3 will be ready in no time. And it's all thanks to you.
A lot of work went into this before I even arrived. Just how close are we?
It shouldn't take long at all. The Facilities Division has it well in hand. There is one more part for you to play, and I think you might enjoy it. It is time to announce our presence to the Commonwealth, to request that they do not interfere with our plans. You should be the one to do it.
What kind of announcement are we talking about?
A broadcast. An announcement to the Commonwealth that the Institute is not to be trifled with. As the incoming director, that responsibility naturally falls to you. We've prepared some remarks for you to record. Once you're finished, we'll broadcast them to the entire Commonwealth.
Use the microphone here and follow the script. It's quite simple. I'm sure you'll do fine, Father.
For years now, you have suspected that the Institute still exists. That we are among you. It is true. But it is not the whole truth. We're here. And we are. Here to help. Our superior technology represents the future of the Commonwealth. Today, we activate our nuclear reactor, ensuring that we will persevere long after the world above ground ceases to exist. Ensuring that mankind has a future. We have no desire to interfere in the unimportant details of your personal freedoms. We simply insist that you do not interfere with Institute operations. To do so would result in unnecessary difficulties for all parties. Rest easy. Know that the future is looking bright, and that mankind will thrive under our guidance.
Well, that was interesting. Perhaps not what we originally intended, but it will certainly get your point across. Now it's time to make sure that everyone hears it. How would you feel about making a little trip to Diamond City?
What do you want with Diamond City?
Nothing with the city itself. This is a bit of a shortcut, actually. The radio station in Diamond City is listened to by many in the Commonwealth. If we'd like the people to hear what we have to say, it's the best way to reach them. Before we preempt their broadcasts, we need to ensure it reaches the maximum range possible. I've been assured that the necessary parts are on site. You'll just need to install them to boost the broadcasting power. Report back when you're done. We should be ready by then.
Oh, hi. There.
Travis.
Okay. I usually don't... This is why. This radio station, well, you'll notice there aren't any other ones. So...
Let's try this. Maybe this goes here.
Don't break my stuff if you don't mind.
In you go.
Hey, I mean, hi. Again, hi? Hi.
Hey, Travis.
I don't, okay. I usually don't. This is why. Hey, I mean,
Hi. Again.
Enjoy your trip to the big city. It's done then? The transmitter has been modified.
Everything is in place. It's ready to go when we are.
Good. Once the reactor is online, we'll cut into their broadcast. I'll let you do the honors. This, my friends, is the moment we've all worked towards. After all your effort, the time has finally come to start our reactor. No longer will we be forced to compromise to survive. No more will we need worry about outpacing our resources. My father and I couldn't be more proud of what you have helped us accomplish, and we look forward to achieving even greater things in the future. The Institute is now truly mankind's best hope. Thank you. All of you. After all those years of hard work, here we are. We've arrived. Look what you've made possible.
Now that the reactor works, what's next for the Institute?
We'll get to that. There's more work to be done before the Institute's future is guaranteed. The Directorate has convened a meeting about how to proceed. I'm not going to attend. You should be there as Director.
Thanks for running those scenes.
May I be the first to welcome you, sir. We're looking forward to working with you.
Let's just get down to business.
Yes, of course.
Right now, we're all here because it's finally time to stand up for ourselves.
Let's not be dramatic, Justin.
There's nothing dramatic about it. We're in a position to push back, to assert ourselves here. That's what we've talked about all along.
To bring you up to speed, obviously there are groups in the Commonwealth that stand in opposition to the Institute's goals. With the reactor now online, we have the ability to not only expand synth production, but to project power to a much greater degree.
I'm sure the reactor will improve everyone's life. It's a great accomplishment.
Yes, but it's not just that. The Directorate has agreed that steps must be taken to ensure our safety in the long run.
Let's not beat around the bush. The Directorate has agreed that the Brotherhood of Steel needs to be eliminated.
As the incoming director, we felt it important to inform you of the decision and get your thoughts on it. So, where do you stand?
I think the last thing the Institute needs now is to make things worse. We should be trying to avoid conflict, not starting it.
I would love to see that big airship fly off over the horizon, but it's not gonna happen. The conflict is already upon us. Unless we end it now, it's only going to get worse.
We really don't have a choice. If we're to emerge from this the victors, we need to move quickly. As director, it's up to you and how we focus our efforts in achieving this goal. We'd like your input on what direction we should take. Do we increase synth production or focus on weapons development?
What would the results of this choice be? I'd like to make a well-informed decision.
Well, if we increase synth production, we'd be able to deploy more of them to the Commonwealth to aid in our operations. Weapon development would improve the weapons we have available to us now, making our synths more effective in the field. Which would you prefer we focus on?
Synths are the Institute's greatest strength. The more we have, the better off we are.
Well said. I'll see that the necessary steps are taken. Thank you very much for your time, sir. That's all we have for the moment. I believe Father wished to speak with you once our meeting concluded.
Ah, there you are. You've met with the Directorate. I assume they made their intentions known? It was difficult for them to reach the decision to engage in open hostility. What about you? Do you agree with their decision?
I think it's a mistake to lash out at anyone.
It should be clear by now that if we wait, we will be destroyed. Acting swiftly is the only way to secure our position.
You know, Father, it's no secret that you worked with the Railroad in order to first reach the Institute.
The depth of your involvement with them has been called into question repeatedly. I'm sure you can guess by whom. The question is, where do you stand with them now? Do you count them amongst your allies?
Does it matter? What are you getting at?
I think it's obvious. For the Institute's position in the Commonwealth to be secure, the Railroad must be eliminated. Completely. As our primary above-ground operative and someone who has had previous contact with the Railroad, you are in the best position to carry this out. So what I'm getting at, simply, is this. Are you willing to destroy them?
Is this really necessary?
I'm afraid it is. I take no pleasure in it, but it must be done, for the sake of everyone in the Institute. And it must be done now. Are you willing?
There has to be another solution here. Something less violent.
I'm afraid the time for hesitation has passed. We must act decisively, and we must act now. Will you do it?
I won't do that to them.
Even knowing that they would kill all of us, you included, to get what they want. I'm sorry, but consider this an order. It must be done. I'll expect a report when they've been eliminated.
Something on your mind? You don't look so good.
Do you trust me?
Trust is a scarce commodity in our organization. Let me answer you like this. I have put our future, and the future of all synths, in your hands. I didn't do that lightly. And you haven't given me a reason to regret that decision.
The Institute has ordered me to kill you. All of you.
I guess they consider us a real threat after all. I suppose we should be flattered. So really, the question is, what are you going to do about it?
How do I deal with this, Desdemona?
Give me a straight answer first. Are you still on our side?
You're alive, so what do you think?
I think you didn't answer the question. Things have progressed faster than we expected. You need to stall them. Buy time any way you can. And step up your operation with Patriot. That's all we can do. Good luck.
Desdemona!
We've got an emergency. Glory spotted a courser near Dayton Safe House. We were hoping Bunker Hill bought us some time, but the Institute's continuing to dismantle our operation.
Can I lend a hand?
Yes. Ticonderoga Safe House has gone dark, and I need you to check it out. Hopefully this is a milk run. But if you do find a courser there, kill it. If there's no survivors, then your cover remains intact.
I'll take care of it.
Get to it then.